Throttle. Go.
Let's get it.
All right. Welcoming all our viewers to episode 2 here of our Full Throttle Podcast. I just wanted to thank everybody for viewing last week. I thought it was a hell of a test run for us all. I think it was a really nice thing. I watched it multiple times already.
Me too.
Got some good feedback online. Got a new agenda here today for you guys. Gonna kind of wing this again.
That's the best way.
Yeah. So the first thing I got on my list here is let's talk about how do you guys feel? What do you think about last week? Get everybody's insight on it a little bit.
I think it went well for a couple of guys who never did it before.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I also watched it a few times. So,
What you got any number of feedbacks? How many views did we get?
Facebook, we're just at 1,500 views on Facebook, and then YouTube, not as hot. We're at 60, but that's given. We're not big on YouTube yet, so just keep it. You just got to keep going with it.
So we're on Facebook, YouTube. What about TikTok?
No, you can't post an hour-long video on TikTok.
I watched the 48-minute one on there.
Oh
boy.
boy. Chris has got to show Justin something new now.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, TikTok's a short film platform. I'm definitely not watching a 48-minute video on TikTok.
Them damn young kids, they don't know this stuff, huh? Like they say they do.
Yeah.
Lord.
It's dinosaurs, so I gotta figure it out.
Our tech guy doesn't know tech.
Oh man. Look, he's just getting mad over there.
I'm not doing anything.
Tell us about
I'm double checking the picture. Everything's new this round.
Tell us
Tell
about
us what you got.
Tell us about your run to the hood last night to pick up that fancy new camera that we got for this podcast.
Man, that was a really sketchy ride. It was pretty okay until we got down there and we took a left, then a right, and every building was abandoned, and it was getting real sketchy. And then he's like, "Yeah, just drive down the alley."
Oh boy.
I looked over at your son. I'm like, "I'm getting jumped today, but I really want this new gimbal."
And then he goes in, and me, Ryder, and John are sitting in the car.
You took your kid down to the hood?
What am I gonna do? Leave him at home?
He took his boss's kids too.
Yeah, I get the boss's kids.
Yes. Well, we're sitting in the car, unlocked. Some sketch guy walks by with his hood up, and I'm like, "Lock," because I'm like, I'm not trying to get
in a running white Audi in the middle of an alleyway, just sitting there. Some guy comes by with his hood up, walking right by the car.
This sounds like the trip to Chicago for a supercharger.
That was pretty similar.
Down on Cicero Avenue in the heart of Chicago.
Oh man, yeah. You messaged the guy. So I bought a RS3 Pro gimbal. Big step up from my last one, and we're also
Can
rocking.
you use English?
Gimbal.
From what I'm seeing here on your laptop, the picture is a lot really clear, really nice. And if I'm not mistaken, you can move that off your phone, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
If we wanted to, I could move that off my phone. I can track cars. So if I'm doing rolling videos with cars, it can track the car the whole time. I don't even have to move the gimbal. People, it does all of that. It's a lot. It's a huge step up. I'm loving it already.
I like it. I was watching you screw with it there a little bit, and it looks like a fine piece of machinery.
And then today we are also rocking my brand new lens that I just bought on Wednesday. So it's a Tamron 28 to 70 millimeter lens.
So I'm assuming it's like everything in life. If it's bigger, it's better, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't find an analogy at all. I don't get it.
Dimples and
Dimple.
I don't know, but you've been stunning in greenbacks lately.
I don't know.
Peanut shells and rubber bands.
Now that I can relate
Oh,
to.
there's a pterodactyl again.
No, he's back?
About Justin.
Yeah.
Oh man, is that a mosquito?
It's mosquito season, isn't it?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Vampires.
So I think the logical conclusion here is it wasn't too bad for the first week. I mean, we're a bunch of rookies for sure. I mean, you watch this stuff online and you watch Joe Rogan and it all comes natural to him. But I thought we did really well. I don't really have anything we can change. I mean, Keith was quiet a couple times. Johnny was quiet a couple times talking, but that's all going to come as we keep going here. And
You're telling me that them guys weren't quiet the first couple times going, what am I doing?
Right. Yeah. Well, I just want to stress, like I said, that I'm thankful for everybody that tuned in. A bunch of goofy guys here talking about cars, but I think it's going to be a hell of a thing. Kind of lay out an agenda every week, and we'll hit the high points and keep her rolling,
Oh yeah.
So I guess we're going to hit the Full Throttle thing again. We're coming up here,
Yeah.
Full Throttle event.
It's exciting.
I'm pumped. I mean, it's just, I look forward so much to watching different cars come every year, and it gets bigger and better, and we run out of room to park cars quite a few times.
Well, they're on the front lawn, they're over on the other lot, they're parked on the street, parked across the street, the fun part for me is that these people who've been coming religiously, if you will, for as long as we've been doing it, telling us about their car, and then one event, they show up with the car they've been talking about, and we can actually see what they're doing with the stuff.
Yeah.
Which is neat, it's.
And I find so many people come and they want to seek us down because they got some questions about what they can do to help with, adjusting their carburetor or different things, the add-ons that they can do. And it's nice that, I try like hell to talk to everybody, and I feel bad some weeks because there's some people that I just don't get to. You get kind of smothered a little bit, but it's cool to walk around out in the field and talk to everybody and hear what everybody's talking about. And like I said, if somebody's stuck with a problem, we try like hell to talk them through it, that they can do it themselves at their garage and at home, so it's burnouts.
That's what you're looking for.
Chris, you're just waiting for these damn burnouts, huh?
We should build a burnout pit.
In due time.
Careful.
Chris went and did a burnout after the last podcast.
Yeah, and then
Allegedly.
This silver Cadillac just came cruising down the road, and I just kind of caught my ear, and I opened the overhead door, and sure shit, what we talked about last week, his throttle linkage stopped, and peeled out of here. And
well, I'm just glad he was able to grab that other gear so he wouldn't really hit.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go right into the chiropractor office,
That would have been pretty fitting.
Slow her down.
Speaking on Full Throttle, I actually pulled up the event right here on my laptop. We have 497 people interested in going.
Awesome.
Hopefully they all show up.
Everybody that responded on there, I'm gonna hold you to it. If you don't show up, I'm gonna come track you down. Ask you why you weren't here. Tell your friends. Yeah. So guys, food trucks again. Let's remind our viewers what we got for food trucks.
So we got Marco's Sport Smoke and Barbecue, a new one. Also Fun Time Enterprises, bunch of carnival food.
That's the funnel cakes, right?
Yeah, and also a returning one, Zorba's, also really good food.
Zorba's, love their gyros.
Like a gyro.
Yeah. Now, is it Euro or is it Hero or Gyro? Or
Gyro.
That's a yo-yo.
Yeah.
Here's the comment section talking about this for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah. To our viewers, help us figure out what the hell, how you say that. I always said it was a Euro. And then what's that white creamy sauce on there? It's got cucumber sauce.
Oh, that's
there's a name for that stuff.
Scared me.
Easy.
Gyro sauce. What else we got going on? I mean, you guys got to get a little more pumped up about this event. I mean, Christ.
Well, once it gets closer, you don't want to get too anticipated ready for it.
Well,
I'm excited to see what people are going to try to bring and unload.
Chad,
this new.
all that new stuff is just for Full Throttle.
Well, I know.
That's how pumped I've been.
I know you're on your game, Justin. You always are on your game.
I am so ready for it. I got the drone out of my truck, got it charging, so the drone's ready.
I seen you listed your drone.
I did until I found out it is better than I thought it was. So I was looking at a newer one a little while ago on Facebook Marketplace, and then I actually looked at the specs between the two, and mine's on par and better in different qualities of the drone.
That Marketplace will get you in trouble.
Nice.
I know.
Vendors. What do we got for vendors?
We have a lot, actually.
Well, we got Zach comes. He cuts some stuff up with his chainsaw. He's out there wheeling it around like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he makes some cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody wants to come get a cool chainsaw carving, come and check out Zach. He makes some neat stuff.
He'll do custom orders too.
Yes, yeah, he'll make it and bring it. In the next couple. Probably. I would assume that if you got him an order here by the next month, he would bring your order to you. I know Jessica. She comes and does some Tupperware stuff. There's a Backwoods
LLC cigars.
No, that's damn.
Blue Flamingo Homestead. I know is one.
Okay.
Yep.
920 Bates.
Well, here you go, Justin. You got it up. Just read it right up your screen. You can take this over here.
So we got the Blue Flamingo Homestead, the Dream Willow Crafts, Koenig Creations, Backwoods LLC, 920 Bates, KMMR Crafts, and then Tupperware by Jessica Voss.
Part swap?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Part swap.
See if there's anything I don't need that I should take home.
Yeah, that's the way I feel too. Like I need some more junk to take home, but one man's junk is another man's treasure, and I've collected quite a few treasures throughout the years.
Yeah.
Got him!
No, missed.
Oh, he escaped me.
He's shifty.
I'm excited to get Tidy Whitey out of the barn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put a battery charger on that yet?
Oh, there's been one on there. She fires out. But
Yeah.
I just got to put some parts back together so it's somewhat presentable.
Well, all you gotta do is burn the tires off. If you don't start by doing it yourself, nobody's gonna follow suit.
Yeah. I mean, who cares if it doesn't go into overdrive, right?
Right.
Yeah, you don't need overdrive.
You're only, I mean, you can put it in neutral and goes down the hill.
I'm probably going to have to.
Yeah.
I'll be at $7,000.
That'll happen.
So, and then the highlight is always the people cruising in with the cool cars, bikes, I mean, anything that's got a motor and you want to show it off. We got a guy that brings some tracked vehicles that are drove in the snow and he hauls them here.
Cool.
And them are freaking neat, you know, and them are really cool.
It's got quite a few of them, too.
And then we got Baldur's Lions is going to serve us some beer.
Yep.
They're going to be set up inside. DJ equipment's going to be up playing some music again. And then Matt has talked to his brother. We actually got a projector. We're going to project the NFL draft on the shop wall here.
Right. It'll be what?
I'm thinking about 140 inches. We'll get her as big as we can so
yeah.
everybody can see this.
Right.
It's just,
Yeah.
Hopefully the Packers don't pick an offensive lineman again like they do every year, you know?
What's wrong with that? Better than drafting another quarterback.
That's true. We don't need one of them.
You need linemen to
linemen.
save your quarterback your millions and millions of dollars of quarterback.
Weather looks good from what I'm seeing on my phone.
Right.
Looks like we're going to have a decent day. It might cool off at night, so I'm going to have 2 fire pits out there. We'll have some fires going so everybody can stay warm and kind of accommodate the April weather here. I mean, you know, at night it can get a little cooler.
We'll have to get a crate of firewood over from Bowland Services there.
Yes, Steven, you can hook us up. Yeah. Yeah, he's the firewood guy. He knows a lot about wood, I'm telling you.
He likes his wood.
He's a big fan of the wood.
He's good.
So Full Throttle is here. I'm very excited about that. I mean, it's a long winter when you're sitting there thinking about how summer nights and everybody cruising in and everybody.
Yeah, but most people are probably like me and ain't got their shit ready to go.
Like me.
Yeah.
Like me.
Yeah, there it is.
The thing you don't know, mechanic.
Mine's body shop, and the body shop guy's sitting over there.
Where's Blake?
Yeah. So one of the other things I wanted to ask you guys about in today's market, I mean, you got a handful of cash and you're thinking about buying a new car or a new truck, and you got to make this decision, and you're going to go buy something you've always wanted. What's the new car or truck of choice?
New, like brand new?
Well, I would just say anything.
Is it new or new to you?
No, I wouldn't. I guess for our viewers, if you're going to buy a brand new car, if you're going to go to a dealership, you're going to go somewhere. I know it ain't your cup of tea. Sometimes some guys will go buy a hot rod, or some guys will go buy something. But I mean, to help out the viewers, if they're in the market to go buy a new car, what would your guys' recommendations be if you're going to buy a new car, a new truck, and why? Why are you buying it? Why are you buying that model? What brand? You know, so I guess let's start at that end of the table. Keith, what are you buying if you got a handful of cash?
90 Chevy.
No, I mean if you could go in a time machine, I'd probably buy one of them brand new, and it would be a 454 SS, you know. But what would, if you had to go buy a new car today, and there's people out there that are probably looking for advice at what they would want to go get for their son or daughter going to college or just a new family car, what would you buy? What would Keith Betting buy?
Well, I don't know if that's the most affordable for everyone, but what I've always kind of liked is the new Trackhawks, the Durango Trackhawks. They're kind of cool. Those are sweet. Like a Hermes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You bought one of them, then you'd have to find a girlfriend and marry her, and
Should have a lot of money.
Yeah, fill the back seat with kids, right?
Cam it like Miss Piggy.
Why do you want it? Just because it's neat?
I don't know, fast and also cool looking.
Yeah.
A lot of kids around there too.
Sporty?
Not that I have kids, but
Yeah.
I thought
Eventually,
that was a
maybe.
little.
He's pre
Yeah, I thought maybe you were trying to tell us something here.
Matt, what do you think? If you had a handful of money and you were in the market for a new car, what would you tell our viewers? What would you buy? Why would you buy it?
I would probably buy another Lincoln. Cause
Do they make them yet?
yeah, they make Lincoln, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But they're way expensive.
What are we talking for a Lincoln? What model?
I would like a Navigator.
Navigator?
So when I went there, the last time I was at the dealership, the base price was 110 on that. Yeah. Think about that one for a minute.
She's getting Escalade V at that point.
Holy shit.
But it was 110 just starting out. It was.
I never thought in my lifetime I would see car prices the way they are.
Well, I mean, if it was.
Don't tell him that. He'll be out buying one tomorrow.
No, but if I were to buy a truck for me, I would buy a new Mega Cab Cummins. I miss my old one.
Chris, you're up. What are we buying if we got a handful of money and you're going to give some advice to our viewers here? What would Chris Seehaver want if he's going to go?
You might be in the market for a new one.
No, not me. You got a newer Chevy.
Yeah,
I'd probably just upgrade my truck, but
that's his wife's truck.
yeah, I'd have to get me one.
Yeah, that's yours.
I don't know, that Cadillac that Cletus is giving away right now.
The Cadillac V.
I'd probably buy one of those. That thing's pretty badass.
Why is nothing that we want to buy under $100 grand?
I don't know how much it is. I know I can't afford it, but
Set the bar high. You can
I'd
only
probably
go
buy
down
a
from
truck
there.
because I'm a practical guy. I would probably just get a new Chevy truck.
Dually.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
If I had unlimited funding.
It's all about them hips, you know.
A practical guy.
Justin, you're on the hot mic. I'll go last. I'm still thinking about it. I wrote the damn script and I didn't even think about the answer to my question.
Well, since no one actually answered your question, because no one's buying a Trackhawk as a practical car, maybe a Navigator, not an Escalade V, I would say I would like a newer Tahoe.
Mm-hmm.
They're super comfortable. We worked on a few and I've moved a few. They're super comfortable. You get the electronics if you want the electronics, the big dash, the small dash. There's so many options.
Right.
Third row seating, all of that. Now, the irresponsible part of me, the new ZR1 Corvette that comes with the twin turbo flat plane motor. Oh man, that thing's coming out almost 1,000 horsepower. That's what I would choose.
I went practical and unpractical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good way of looking at it. Practical, unpractical.
Tahoe's up there, not up there in price. You get, they got the higher end model ones. Then you can go to the Denali's, which, or you can stick with the Chevy Tahoe, and I think you're pushing 50, 60
More.
Yeah,
80. You're closer to, you're right. You're closer to 80.
For the Tahoe.
What the fuck, man?
I got him. I felt it.
It's
in your pocket.
You want to eat them or what?
Well,
Jesus.
he ain't in the podcast.
Yeah. He just got axed. Cut scene. He's done.
Special guest has exited.
But I have a little funeral for him. Good enough.
What would you buy?
Practical, Keith. Go back down to the end. Practical.
No bullshit. Get impractical check.
Impractical? Like, what would I go buy if
Yeah.
I keep seeing them talking about this new S10 online. I don't know if it's ever going to come out or if that's some AI bullshit. But they're talking 1,100 horse S10.
I seen that. Yeah.
Kind of like a Cyclone type looking thing.
Yeah.
If that came out, I would. My irresponsible side would say, yeah, I gotta have one of them. You know what I mean?
I didn't know there was such a thing.
You already got an irresponsible S10.
At night I'm sitting there scrolling through Facebook and it pops up every once in a while. And I was always going to ask you about it, and I figured tonight was a good idea if anybody else seen that.
I've seen that. They keep wanting to bring back the El Camino too.
And then I guess on the practical side, just a family vehicle. I know nobody from Ford is ever going to see this, but I really wish they would come back with an Excursion, a diesel Excursion, or if Chevy would just put a Duramax in a SUV and come on Mopar, come on Dodge, let's come up with something.
Well, they don't even have anything large.
Oh, I know, but Ram Charger. Let's make an extended Ram Charger with a 6.7 Cummins motor in it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And now we're looking at some EPA standards getting cut here.
Oh yeah.
We're backing off on emissions, and a lot of the emissions on semis. They're fighting here to cut some of this stuff. Maybe Caterpillar will get back in the game and start building motors again. I mean, that's what put them out was
Right.
was all the submission stuff, and we lost a hell of a manufacturer in the semi market with cat motors. So I guess for that's where I would be. My impractical side, I'd do something wild like that new S10 that I keep seeing, and for all I know, it's an AI generated thing like you see on there. But from the practical aspect, Angie loves her excursion. She always has. We got to get that in and get some head gaskets on the old one for her because she's itching to get in her excursion again. So
and get her out of that Tahoe.
Yeah.
Hey, that Tahoe suited its needs. You would buy a new one. You just said it.
New one. I'm afraid to test drive Angie's Tahoe.
John did drive it.
John did drive it.
John.
So how did you guys ever get into the car automotive industry? That's the next thing on my list. I wanted to go through and talk to everybody and just kind of figure out how you guys all got into this auto industry and why you got into it and what piqued your interest to make a career out of this stuff. Oh, hold on one more minute. Most beautiful sound in the world.
Flashing the mic again, man.
Oh yeah.
His pants are wet.
That's number 2. That's because I'm sitting next to you.
Oh, Jesus.
We're going to have to change seats. Keith and I did. I think you two need to
Start on this side this time.
Yeah.
Justin, why'd you get into automotive?
Oh, shit.
You were forced.
You can't just mix them up like that.
Freaking nut on the table. Is this your
There's
nut?
nuts behind the table.
Did you lose a nut on my table?
All right.
Go ahead, buddy. Tell me why you got into this. I know I sent you some messages and I suckered you into come work in here. But you didn't come here to turn wrenches. You came here to.
You were turning wrenches before you started.
Yeah. So
you've had a slew of what? A bunch of foreign job cars, right? That you couldn't keep a motor in.
I kept blowing them up, but I already fixed them. As of right now, with the new car that we just got 2 weeks ago, it is my 37th car.
Rookie.
I'm 27, not 70.
I don't think I've had 37 cars in my life.
Who counts?
Kiki made me count. she was curious.
Close to that.
I'm north of that.
Again, I'm 27.
I'd have to think about it. I don't know how many.
But back to
You still have them all.
I used to
the one I don't own. It's a shop truck. So.
I used to wrench on my grandfather's old Cadillac, the good old North Star. Oh yeah, with my old man. My dad really got me into it. The good old hold the flashlight. You ain't holding the flashlight good enough, then the flashlight hits me in the back of the head. You know.
That explains a lot.
So just moving forward with that, my dad, he did the whole, I'll pay half of a car that you want to get. So I got it, and instantaneously my dad was always supportive of the dumbest things I want to do to my car. He never said no. He let me learn the hard way. So we went
that's a life lesson, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's a good way to teach it.
We went cherry bomb on the exhaust on a 04 Malibu, by the way. Cherry bomb.
Let's cherry bomb your Malibu.
We tinted the taillights with Plasti Dip. Just a whole lot of dumb stuff. And it just kind of kept going with that. But kind of going back to the first podcast, I would say what really got me into cars was once I started messing with mine and asking questions online, I had a world of friends I've never met before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't, like, the stuff I was doing was dumb. It was the beginning years of my life. I was tinting my headlights, tinting my taillights. And people started to push me, hey, that's not safe. You should do it this way where it is. So I think that's really, the community's really got me into cars, really set it in stone for me.
That's cool. That's cool. Chris, what brought you into cars? Racing is what I know of you. That's kind of why you got into the mechanical side of things, right?
I think it all started back in the day. My Uncle Craig had a Nova, and he had speakers in it.
You're a big stereo guy.
I am.
Yeah.
That started it, and then my mom worked for Ken Markworth Sales and Service, and he was a legend in racing, and so was his son Randy. And I don't know, just watching Randy, and then I got my first chance to be on a pit crew, and I was hooked on racing. That was right around when I quit drinking alcohol because I was a dumbass. And my therapist told me I had to pick a different addiction, and it became racing. So, I mean, that's how I met Chad 20 years ago.
Yeah, we go back a long way. Really go back a long way. It seems to be where everybody starts. If somebody in the family had something cool,
That's what I said last time. I mean,
kind of a mentor you looked up to when you were younger, and like you said last week, talking about models and matchbox cars and RC cars and screwing around with their bikes. Once you found somebody down the road that had something neat, you were hanging out at their house and you were kind of learning on the fly. And
the most expensive hobby in the world starts at 79 cents and 3 years old.
Yeah.
Matchback car.
matchbox cars.
I mean,
My kid's got over 250 of them, I swear.
the Murder Nova is probably my most favorite car in the world. The OG Murder Nova. Like, I don't know, that got me hooked on Street Outlaws, and I'm still a Sean Ellington fan. But that car stems back to my Uncle Craig's car.
Yep.
He had a Nova, and I was like, just the way it's so smooth looking, and the front end looks mean. I don't know.
The lines on that
Stuck
car.
with me.
Move
And the
over a
thumping
little bit. He's
stereo.
getting a little clunky here.
The thumping stereo he had too. It was awesome. My son's following right in the footsteps too. He likes loud music.
Really solid music.
Loud cars.
Matt, you're on the deck.
You know, like I said,
Automotive industry.
Dad,
Why? Why did you get into this?
so I just had a terrible addiction to spending a lot of money on tools that I don't use.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wants to prove it.
we know that. Yeah. We
No,
know.
my dad, he was in the cars when he was younger. My grandpa even was in the cars. My
See, no,
mom's
that's something
side of the world.
that's something I didn't know. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I guess through all of our conversations since I've known you, you maybe have mentioned that your dad was into cars, but I didn't know he was into that.
He's the one that, I guess, started this disease I have.
Okay.
He had Nova, Chevelle, Monte Carlo. He had a couple Pontiacs. He had a lot of stuff that was a lot of fun, and he would talk about it when I was little, and then I wanted to do the same sort of thing, but he keep telling me when I was little that you can't get away with the shit that we did when we were younger. And
Not lying.
I got the same speech for Keith too. And John.
Well, and you probably got it from your dad.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You know, my grandpa, he had 55, 56, 57 Chevys and stuff like that growing up when he was able to drive, and mom and dad had that when he was growing up. My uncle on the other side still has his car, and my uncle, he since got rid of it, but he had a Camaro too, and all that stuff when you're little and impressionable is like, ooh, I gotta
Oh
have
yeah,
that
that
in
stuff
my life.
sinks in.
You know,
I mean,
it's deep.
it's burned into your brain. You know. Keith, why are you in this industry?
I wonder what this is.
Yeah, I wonder what this is.
He's trying, looking at Grandpa's truck over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandpa's truck. I mean, the guy down from me at 2 Seats has had a lot of cool cars through the years that I've gotten to work on and see. And
He don't get rid of them either. Like
yeah, I
you.
mean, there's a blue 68 Chevy that I've seen a lot around the house. Kind of hooked me too. So,
I heard your sister's getting that.
you know,
Well, I'm up now. You guys are gonna put me in the house.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure the answer's the same.
That's the same story. My old man back in the day worked at Frank's Auto Service on Calumet Avenue at Safransky Tire now. And I mean, being a little guy, going up and visiting him, riding my bike up by him. I mean, him and my uncle Herb built demo cars there. Him and Joe Manchesky always did stuff there on different vehicles that they had after hours. That's why I'm so open to guys using the shop here that work for me. I mean, seeing what people did for my dad back in the day, and Frank let him use the shop and build personal projects and do stuff. That's kind of why I'm open to it here. I mean, we got the facility, we got the tools, we got the knowledge, let the guys use it. So that stuff got burned in my head. And then he also worked on cars in our garage at Marshall Street. So even after he left Frank's and he started working down at Anheuser-Busch down there in Manitowoc, and he would still come home on nights and weekends and work on some cars for people on the side. And there was always different vehicles getting dropped off. So being younger and being in the shop, I guess, just kind of got burned into my brain that this is the direction I wanted to go. And it wasn't from the start. You know, being younger and going by Joe Manchesky with my dad and hanging out in the shop and riding in the semis with them, my goal was always to be in the trucking. And, you know, in 2004, I started the trucking company, and we had a lot of fun, and that industry just kind of, it changed, and the regulations changed and different things changed. And with having the semis and having the shop, we hired some guys to work on just the semis. And then, it turned into more and it evolved. And now we got this shop, and this is kind of our bread and butter between this shop and the old shop and doing car work for people. And I wouldn't say that I would change anything that went on in my life from little on. I mean, every step of the way, there's been some bumps in the road, but at the end of the day, I'm still smiling, and the good outweighs the bad. And we have a lot of fun here. There's a lot of great people that work here, are part of our team, and it's just something that I guess I could say I'm living a dream. I mean, there are some bad days. I mean, the guy gets stressed out over some different things.
Yeah, I didn't have any gray hair before, sir.
Yeah, me neither.
Me neither.
Holy fuck.
I don't know what happened, Charlie.
Yeah. So the long and short of it, that's the story about why I got into it. It's the same thing. It's finding somebody that is close to you, and that's why you got hooked on the industry, and it was kind of the normal to work on cars because your old man worked on cars or somebody you knew worked on cars, and I think everybody at this table touched it the same way. So
you had touched on something, the trucking side of the world. How long did you know you wanted to drive truck?
Well, I guess I would say from I'm going to say 4 or 5 years old. I used to get down on the carpet, and my grandma Ruthie, which is my mom's mom, she used to watch me, and she had this mustard colored rug, and there were different imprints in it, different lines in it. And her being an older lady, she would get down on the floor with me, and we would play trucks, and then there were roads on that rug. And I remember after she passed, I believe it was my Aunt Barb or my cousin Tina, they ended up giving me that rug, and I believe I still have it somewhere.
I knew you would.
Yeah, so I guess at that age, that's what I wanted to do. They fascinated me. It was cool how the trailers hooked up. It was cool the different things that got hauled around the country via truck. Everything that you got on your table is brought to you by a truck, some sort of truck, a delivery truck. Nowadays you got Amazon, you got all this stuff, but trucks keep the world spinning, and I wanted to be a part of it. And I guess a big influence in it was going with my dad over at Joe Manchesky's shop and sitting in them, blowing the horn if there was still air pressure in them.
Sure.
Them guys would drink beer, and I would just sit in the truck and move the shifter and do different things in there. And then getting a little older.
A young kid.
Yeah, I mean, them guys would come down Marshall Street. They would pick me up at the house on their way to Red Arrow. I would jump in the truck, ride with them for the day, and then they'd drop me back off after they were dropping their empty trailer off. They hauled sawdust in the Red Arrow, so they make liquid smoke, and that was their big thing. But that's what got me into it, and I still enjoy it. I still miss it. It was a big part of my life, but like I said, the regulations and the fuel prices and the insurance and the e-logs, and they treat truck drivers like damn criminals. They really do. It's sad. They got to cut back a little bit. And back in the days when I first started, I mean, everybody helped everybody out. Somebody was broke down on the side of the road, they were stopping. You don't see that anymore. It's a different world, and I hope as time goes on that it changes and it evolves back to the way it used to be. I really do. Maybe we'll get back.
How many? You had 10 trucks on the road total at the highest point?
I think at the high point we had 14. 14. Yeah, a bunch of trailers. We had a real good thing going on, but yeah. Enough about that.
Well, we're not going to jump off that real quick. This is the first I've heard of how vetting became vetting customs.
Yeah.
I've never. Yeah. I knew about the trucking, but I didn't know that shop was put up for truck repair, for semi repair. I never knew any of that.
That old shop was put up in 2009. Just the house trucking, just so we could get them in and maintain them as drivers, wash them. I mean, for so many years, I worked outside in the winter, fixing trailer lights. I'd put a heat gun in between my legs, and I'd hold the heat gun, and then I'd put my hands over the heat gun so I could make another bet connect because my hands were so cold. Changing oil out in the gravel, and putting that shop up. That was like, holy Christ, we're big time now. We got a shop to work on stuff. And as we got more trucks, I hired a mechanic. Brian Haberman worked for me, and then we started painting more stuff. And I mean, at that property in the garage, I had painted stuff on the side, race cars, different things in that small garage, and then we put the paint booth in to do bigger trucks and stuff. But that was kind of all. It was all an evolution type thing, You got
steps along the way.
You got steps along the way, and then you hire more people to help you, and you rely on more people, and that's the best thing about being in business is you keep putting different people in different positions to further you and make you better, and good people behind you. The sky's the limit. You just keep going bigger and bigger and better things.
It's not even you that you keep growing with, and people grow too as well.
Yes,
You know, the people
yes,
that you
yes.
talked about, the team members.
Different people step up to different responsibilities and yeah. So that's the gist of it, Justin. You got the whole rundown today. So aren't you glad we started this podcast?
I got the whole rundown.
The whole world.
We all got it.
They got the sensitive side of Chad, I guess, today. So
He's crying.
yeah, it's neat. It really is.
It's awesome to think about.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do that. I tried to start a small business, and it's just a lot of shit to deal with.
There's a lot of shit. I remember them days of writing out some checks, and you wrote out a bunch of checks knowing that payment was going to be there that day. And I mean, you're literally standing at the mailbox waiting for the mail lady to come to make sure that that payment came so your checks don't bounce. And I can say there's probably 90% of our business owners that are watching this right now that have gone through them days. And I mean, it was tough, especially back in 2008 when fuel prices went to $5 a gallon. I mean, I thought that was the end of it. The rates didn't increase fast enough to compensate for how high fuel was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I went back down to one truck and I was doing it myself. Through that time, I let a driver go and we made it through. And, you know, but back in, I'm going to say 2016, 2018, when fuel went high again, I thought, oh, here we go again. And that's when I kind of backed out of it and I didn't want to go through that again. It was a tough time. So tool talk. Let's talk about some tools. What did you guys use this week? I mean, I talked to you about how you got in the industry, why you got in the industry. We got some projects going on here. What was the most important tool that you had in your hand this week to get you through a project? Start at that end of the table today.
I'd say the most important tool I've ever bought is probably my 1/2-inch impact and sockets. I mean, a lot of small jobs come in, tire rotations.
The most used tool.
Yeah.
Tire repair.
I would say I'm glad you bought it too because on mine ain't missing one.
Same.
He never stole mine, so I'm good.
No.
You just bought yours.
Yeah.
I have Milwaukee here.
Who?
Matt, what did you use this week that got you through a tough situation, or what was crucial in getting your work done this week?
Doing a lot of the diagnosis. My scanner is.
Your scanner?
Yeah.
You brought it here for us?
Yeah, there it is, right there.
Show and tell.
And I appreciate you buying that. I mean, as a shop owner, for you to have that piece of equipment and how you're willing to lend it out to the other techs here.
By far the most expensive tool I have in the box.
Yeah.
Most useful.
Yeah, that helps it through.
Just don't drop it.
The case.
So you could give a shout out to Brett Schmitz for being our awesome tool guy, huh?
I've been buying tools from Brett I've been doing this full time professionally 2003. Holy shit, am I old? You're right, I am old. But yeah, I've been doing it, and he's been my Snap-on guy since I started this. So
He's really throwing around that professional word.
So you're saying you got a senior discount?
Well, I don't know if it's a senior discount or a repeat customer discount. This is probably my 6th different scanner that I've had. Right now, I'm running a Zeus Plus, which has lab scope capabilities, mapping, all kinds of things that are not normal for a regular shade tree mechanic scanner, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Chris, what did you use this week?
I bought a sledgehammer.
Was that for the people or for the job?
For both.
I'm going to say my most important tool this week was, I'm going to have 2 of them. That plasma table that we bought. We're building a really cool wagon here for the Anhalt Mob Bike Show dance. They're going to raffle it off. Normally I would cut these brackets out by hand with the plasma cutter and drill all the holes, and in a matter of 15 minutes, Chris whipped up some brackets for me, was able to help me through on that project. And then I'm going to say my Snap-on welder. I mean, I have one at the other shop, and I liked that welder so much throughout the years. It's not as advanced as the Millers, but it's got the dials on it. I'm used to it. I know exactly where to set it at. I actually went out in Marketplace and bought another one just like that.
There's a Marketplace.
Yeah, it always gets you. So them are my 2 tools this week. I mean, that plasma cutter helped me with this wagon project, and then welding it together with that welder. What do you got, Justin?
Insert a picture of that thing.
Yeah. What do you got for me, Justin? What did you use this week that helped you power through something? Or I mean, what was vital in you getting your job done this week?
Brandon. That was the best tool I used this week.
Brandon is a tool.
I thought you were gonna say your laptop.
No, I do have, with the big, not to say the big project, but with the McLaren, a lot of photos. So I would say my two real options would be my camera and my laptop together, getting all the photos edited, which that should be soon.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one, I would have to say my solder gun and my wiring kit for the old 49.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, you were in here the other day ranting about them butt connectors or the weather pack connectors that we got, and I think we're gonna get some more of them on hand. You know what I mean? So
it's a nice way to do it, clean way to do it, and
I think it turned out phenomenal.
The customer's very happy.
So you mentioned that McLaren. That was a really neat car, high-end car. Was surprised to see it here. Was nervous as hell that it was here. I mean, an expensive piece of equipment like that. Matt got that job, and what did we do with that McLaren?
So
Matt, why did we do it, and what did we do to fix the problem that the customer was occurring on that thing?
The customer came to us. He had a McLaren 720S, and in there, the gullwing doors on the top, the glass on the doors flexes. It's a very thin piece of glass, but it cracks quite a few times because of the body flex being all carbon and things like that. So there is an aftermarket company that makes carbon fiber inserts for it. He had trouble finding somebody willing to take on the job because of how unique it was. So I reached out to our glass company, Lakeshore, Chris over there. He came up and took a look at it, and he and I had some conversations and ultimately decided that, yeah, we can do this job for the customer. And we put the carbon fiber inserts in the gullwing doors, and he put a roof scoop on, and it turned out fantastic. Chris is very, very good at what he does. He's been doing it a long time, like the rest of us. Not you, Chris. But very good at what he does, and he was my first call to do it, and he came through, and it was spot on. It turned out phenomenal.
Yeah, and then you guys put the finishing touches on.
Yeah, we put the the roof scoop on there, which is a little bit unique because I'm not used to having a supercar in the shop. And you know, when somebody says they want a scoop on it, it's usually a co-induction on an OBS Chevy.
Well, it didn't help that some asshole was standing in the door, kept telling you it was crooked.
Yeah, well, it happens. You know, a tape measure doesn't lie, but you always get that second guess of, is it really crooked or not? Did I read it right?
Right.
The customer was very happy.
It's always good to hear.
Then you gotta circle back to why was Brandon's tool? I mean, Brandon, your favorite tool this week.
He give you an OTPHG or what?
I have no idea what that means, but
we'll tell you when you're older. You gotta ask, you can't afford it.
Brandon is just the guy you can always go to with a question, and he's gonna give you shit about it. Yeah. Then he'll tell you the actual answer to the question, but he's it's nice because I'm new to the professional world of being a mechanic. I have a lot of backyard tools at my house. I have a lot of stuff that I made work. So I don't have the real nice stuff yet. So Brandon, being Brandon, I don't even have to ask at this point. He lets you borrow his tools as long as you take care of them and return them. So with torque wrenches and all that, Brandon he's a really willing guy with all of this stuff.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. So moving on, guys, we talked.
What is your favorite tool?
What is my
Did
favorite?
we talk about that?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I missed. Oh, yeah, that's right.
I got cut out such a big chunk.
And take his beer away. Holy
and
shit.
we used it to box in that frame.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We got the Chevy truck in here. And common problem with them Chevy trucks is behind the fuel tank, the frame rails rot out. A lot of shops have been sending customers our way to patch them because we've done so many of them. And now with having a plasma table, Chris was able to make a template. We'll have them templates, and we'll have pre-cut pieces in stock, I would say, going forward. So that's part of the thing. So like I said, guys, let's move on. We talked last week about the drivers that we all sponsor for Vetting Customs.
Yeah, did you get a list of them or what?
I made one here off the top of my head. I don't believe I left anybody out, but I want to talk about each driver that we sponsor, where they ran the previous week, and kind of their results. And I want to start off. Brett Wenzel was down in Independence at Independence Motor Speedway. He ended up with a 4th place feature. I guess from what I'm reading, that was his career high in Iowa. Was a 4th place finish last week. So shout out to Brett. a hell of a job. He's always got a hell of a car, hell of a program over there, and we've stood behind him for years. And like I said last week, there's a lot of back and forth helping each other. We do a lot for them, and they do a lot for us. A great group of guys, always been a name in the racing community. Josh McDonald, he had his street stock sandblasted by us. I don't believe that Josh ran anywhere yet with his car. It's all lettered. It's all ready to go. Sharp looking car from what I've seen on Facebook. He'll be, from what I'm reading, he'll be competing Fridays at Autogaming Speedway in the Vetting Customs Street Stock division. He'll be a regular out there. Eric Malik, we painted a nose and a tail for his new Camaro body. The new hot IMCA stock car body is this new Camaro body. We painted a nose and tail for him. He went opening night to 141 Speedway. He won his heat race. From what I'm seeing in the video, it was an impressive display for opening night in a new car. And then he ran second in the feature.
That's a new chassis for him too.
Yeah, I believe he's with the G-Force car now. Yeah. Craig Gretz out of Kiwani. And Craig sent Eric down, recommended us to do that paint work. So that was really cool. That's what I looked at. It's through the years. I mean, you got people that you haven't even met and you know of, and they're sending work, and you're sending work by them, and it's neat. Ryan Pafford, he's running the sport mod again this year. It's actually my old sport mod. Just seen that he had practiced at Plymouth the past weekend. Got some laps on his car, shook it down a little bit. Same with Justin Green and his late model. He practiced at Gravity Park, and also got some laps in at Plymouth down there. Jerry Wenzel, he's got a baby blue Richard Petty car that we painted for him, IMC stock car. It's a Wolf car, 1 year newer than my Wolf car here. He hasn't ran yet either. I haven't seen that he got it on the track yet. I believe he's still getting stickers and stuff. And then I got Chad Vetting here, myself. Mine's just a shop ornament for now.
Yeah.
Up here on jack stands. And we got John Vetting street stock. Got taken to the paint shop today for paint, and Chris is measuring out the vinyl and stuff for that. So that'll be neat to see how that goes. Johnny's shooting for that 20-year throwback paint scheme. So
it's gonna be cool. You're gonna lay the flames out.
Yeah, I will. I'll definitely help with that.
That'll be cool.
You better get them the same as you did 20 years ago.
Right? I have a picture.
I'll try my ass off. I remember it was black and it kind of dipped down, and then I took my airbrush and highlighted some yellow on the bottom and stuff. So we'll try. It's been a long time. So
see what happens.
Yeah. I guess we're getting down to the end of this. I keep looking at your ticker here. We got some time that we've put into this podcast, and I know you want to keep them at 45 minutes or so we don't lose viewers. So
you're talking. I'll do it for 2
I'd sit here all night, but I know it's. Last one I got for you guys, getting down to the nitty gritty here. You're in your car, you're in your hot rod, you're in your classic car, you're in your street machine, you're cruising down the road. What's your favorite song to rock out to while you're cruising down the road? I mean, what are you, white girl wasted, what are you blaring out, windows down, full, just bellowing the lyrics out to this song like nobody's with you?
Does it got to be a specific song, or can it just be a band?
I would say if you want to go with a band, I was looking more for a song where you're just you're acting stupid. I mean,
I'll go first.
All right, go ahead, Chris.
Bad Habit by Offspring.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good song. I think I've bellered quite a few lyrics to that one too.
I'll lose my voice to that shit.
Who's up next?
I was fully expecting Barbie Girl.
I'll take the next one. I'll take the next one since it's not far off what Matt just said. Last time I went to go race someone, full volume, all the way up, Fireworks by Katy Perry, and just roasted the tires off.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
How are you gonna race someone at WIR when he's sitting next to you jamming to Fireworks by Katy Perry? That
explains a lot
again. That is a distraction, man.
Oh yeah. Just a blast.
Getting in people's heads right off the start.
Yeah, should have hit him harder with the
I don't really have a good answer, I'll be honest.
Come on.
It depends on the mood, but if usually if I'm on the way home, Slipknot will be good. My little guy likes that a lot. I sent quite a few videos on our page of him just like this in the back seat of his car seat. So.
Yep. Keith, what do you got?
Well, I got a lowrider, so lowrider by War.
Oh yeah, I used to crank. That was on repeat. I had the old Pioneer stereo, that War CD, and cruising in my '68 Chevy, and the dolphins were swimming across the screen, and then you had the little race cars on there. That was the freaking stereo to have back in the day. I mean, if you had that, you
I mean, if it was 1998.
and that freaking song was on repeat. I mean, low ride.
You're not going to sing it, right?
Copyright.
So for me, going home at the end of the day, I'm turning on Spotify. I got Custer by Slipknot on, and I am blaring that, and I am angry, and I'm yelling, and I'm venting throughout the day. You know, I mean, that's my song.
I've seen that without the video.
Yeah.
Without the song.
Yeah, get me up. Yeah.
Hey, it's past 10 minutes. You're fine.
And boom, cut the video right there. Logo comes in.
Well, that's all I got for our viewers today. That's the script.